And in the bottom left, the man with the flower on the flag. It's GogojOey.
I have Sue versus Mario on my overlay. I don't know what's going on with this, but it's kind of crazy. In the top right-hand side, it is IG MacSed. Invictus Gaming.
Exactly.
Yeah, I used to be the leader of a clan in Brood War, one of the better European clans called IG. Also, same capitalization too, with a capital G, but it was called Infernal Gamers.
Any relation to the was it Infernus? The
Infernales? No,
Infernales, yeah.
No. We were way better.
Good to know. No, they're beneath us. We were so much better. Look at this.
Better Infernals.
Well, actually, we all know what the truly better Infernals are going to be, but we got to wait a year, 18 months or something to really find that out.
I like it. Really, that long?
We're supposed to hear news about the closed beta should start, I think, like towards the end of this year. So, less than that.
If not before.
Yeah.
Should be pretty exciting. Are you gonna play the Infernales?
I have no idea what I'm gonna play. I'm gonna wait to see which race seems the most, or which faction seems the most overpowered. Because I play Zerg, right, in StarCraft 2, and clearly
backfires. Yeah, you did right to choose Zerg. But yeah, that usually backfires. I feel like people should just look at it and pick whatever race fits them best. Mm-hmm. If you try to pick the OP one, it backfires because whatever race you pick is gonna feel underpowered. It's just how it works.
And also, like, over the course of any RTS, you're gonna have every race is gonna have their opportunity to be overpowered. It's not. Mm-hmm. I mean, I'm joking. I played Zerg because it the mechanics felt far better than any of the other two factions. So, but for now, we do have a Zerg in this matchup, Cats, and his opponent. He's kind of doing the standard thing, right? Oracle on the way. I think we can expect to see a third base going down in the next, 30, 40 seconds. Twilight going down. We're just kind of getting there. I mean, Ancient Cistern's a big map.
It is a huge map. A very nice, Zerg-friendly map. There is the oddball here from MacSed and the Stalker, but a little bit late to react means may not be able to take this Overlord down. And I mean, the Stalker is kind of there to prevent the Overlord Scout in the first place, so maybe out of position there because the Adept was out on the map for a little bit longer than MacSed would have liked. And this Stalker means that MacSed isn't able to put additional pressure with the first and then consequent second Adept because the second unit was a Stalker. As it gets surrounded here, now gonna have to activate the Pulsar Beam from the Oracle for that, so good job from him. But yeah, I mean, that Stalker is meant to confuse your opponent, right? Like as far as like what your tech is, it's supposed to make this Oracle a little bit more unpredictable, and MacSed unable to accomplish that for the time being.
Yeah, he also reveals, you're right. He also reveals the Oracle, which means really no confusion there whatsoever. And GogojOey with those lings, he doesn't kill the Stalker. But what he does do is he buys enough time for his Overlord, the very wounded one, to find his way on the north side. So that stays alive as well. And where is our Oracle now? Is it? Yeah, it's still staying at home here. The interesting thing is that it's a single Oracle. Cats, I feel like for the most part, we're used to seeing 2, 3, sometimes even that 4 Oracles. So having one and just using it defensively, well, yeah, there we go. That means you save gas. That means charge right on the docket.
Yeah, I mean, if you make one, you better use it defensively. But good thing for GogojOey is that he wasn't actually making any links to apply pressure up until this point. He had just made the initial 4. So, it's kind of like a wash in that sense. GogojOey gets to develop his economy as best as he can in this very crucial time to do so. He has the Roach Warren already up. He will have a lair. And if he can get to Roach speed, he might have a pretty good shot at holding this. But he's still making drones, now making Roaches. You don't want to see any more drones here, as MacSed has added those 6 gateways that are about to finish, soon to be turned into warp gates. And this is going to be a pretty big Cellar Archon attack, I would have to imagine. And not going to be easy to hold with +1.
Yeah, I was going to ask if you feel like GogojOey has overdroned here, because MacSed is building probes again, but he cut probes for a little bit of time. I mean, getting 6 gateways like that, charge just about done +1. This isn't quite a fake third, but it's not real either. It's kind of, stuck in that partial reality of, oh yeah, I'm absolutely doing something. And with charge slots on the way, I mean, this is getting a little, yeah, you know, roaches are on the way now. There are 11 of them. Seems like GogojOey, he's probably tuned on in time.
Yeah, I think GogojOey is in a good spot right now. I mean, I don't like the opening from MacSed here. Like you said, cutting probes only to go back to remake those probes, right? And adding all of these gateways that really amounted to nothing, because now you have 6 gateways and you haven't used the warpins effectively. On the other side, there's going to be a little bit of a Zealot run-by, but it shouldn't amount to much. There's 3 roaches here. The Queen not in a safe position, but with a Spine, it will buy enough time for GogojOey to reposition his units without much concern. The 2 Adepts could be troublesome, however, as they do shade into the natural base expansion. GogojOey will have a decent position here at the 3rd, so you gotta be careful not to overcommit here if you're MacSed. However, the Adepts are still doing work. 3 workers have fallen so far, and an easy cleanup from here on for GogojOey.
Yeah, those Archons almost got so much damage done. Unfortunately, one of them just kept hitting the hatchery instead of hitting the unit, so the Queens actually worked as force fields, between sandwiching a bunch of roaches between the Zealots and the Queens. But only one Archon was firing, so really not a lot went down. And now we have a MacSed who cut probes, who went for this quick timing, +1 charge slot Archon. And I mean, this is just a lot of roaches on the other side of the map. It's not like there are Blink Stalkers. It's not like there's this intense micro ability. It's just Smash Math Protoss, and this amount of roaches is somewhat difficult for that army to deal with.
No, for sure. I think he could have pounced onto the Archon and maybe taken it down, or onto the Immortal, but there was a second Immortal coming. There were the Archons coming back on the War Prism, and there is this little pocket of Zealots also running into the natural base of GogojOey, causing a little bit of disruption here, as there's a few roaches left over to try and defend it. The Zealot will get a nice scout on the Spire of GogojOey, and yeah, all of a sudden with those roaches not really finding anything, but confirming that there is no 4th, things do turn out a little bit better for MacSed, who is now starting Phoenix production to account for the Muta, and Disruptors to account for the roaches on the ground.
Yeah, so you're right. That is actually really, really nice for MacSed here. I mean, GogojOey is going to run across the map, but Stasis only gets a couple roaches, but it's a bunch of roaches into multiple Disruptors at this point. You're right. I mean, the roaches, it's heavy supply, sure, but I mean, this is really hard to engage into. GogojOey's going to try, but it really isn't much more than a poke. Here's the interesting thing, though. Spire is done. Not a single Muta has been made. Bailey Nest on the way. 3 additional hatcheries and, you know, Evo Chambers as well. Seems like GogojOey is content to just force his opponent to build anti-Mutas and not do anything with it himself.
Yeah, I like that. His opponent is now going into Thermal Lance, however, so I mean, MacSed looks good here. I like the Infestation Pit from GogojOey. He needs to try and get some Vipers out and make something happen. I don't like that second move out with the roaches. Like you were mentioning, there's only going to be more units than before, and it's about the same number of roaches that you moved out with earlier. Got to be careful with this Disruptor shots, as it will find and clip one single roach. I would have much rather seen the same move out towards the 4th again, and then you would have actually been able to at least know that it's not being taken and potentially deny it for a little bit longer. So GogojOey's still trying to make something happen, but his army has not really grown substantially here. The Infestation Pit is done. I would much rather see him drop the Hive at this point.
Those splits are really nice, and this Oracle will eventually run out of energy. He was just seeing, oh, that's a big Disruptor, though. And I was on a bit of copium. I mean, he gets some Archons. Yeah,
on the other side, there's
Action. Oh, there we go. Yeah. That's actually much more powerful. Shield Battle River Charge, of course, has been popped. When we say it's much more powerful, it knocks down some static D, and that's kind of the extent of it here, cats. Both angles, they don't really get that much.
Yeah, the Hive is finally gonna start. 3 Muta as well. Really weird 3 Muta here on the side of a GogojOey that would probably be better off saving some of that gas for the transition when he can get it. He does have a lot of gas, however, so maybe he feels like he could surprise with a ton of Muta, but 3 is just not the number to make that happen, right? There's 3 Phoenix already, so ouch!
Yeah, roaches get on top of the last couple Disruptors, so it's only 1 or 2 big shots, but I mean, 1 or 2 big shots are certainly enough here with the Archons on top, Immortals on the high ground. And we have more Phoenix on the way. This is kind of interesting as the roaches re-engage. They get an Immortal. Does does he smell I mean, honestly, 3 Mutas aren't going to do anything. Does he smell that Muta transition, or is he just really happy with this ability to pick up a bunch of roaches, cut down the army supply of his opponent, and just maybe drop them on a Disruptor Ball or something?
I have no idea. I think he has to Stargate, so he feels like he has to use him, and he's just decided to go Phoenix. I would almost rather see Void Race or just drop a Fleet Beacon and start your carrier transition. But yeah, I mean, it's not going to be bad, right? Like, I guess he smells like the potential for Muta because there hasn't been gas utilized on the side of GogojOey. But little does he know, GogojOey is just floating 1,500 gas.
Yeah, and a Disruptor takes down a couple Stalkers as well, which is not what you want. Ling's Roaches get on top of all the tech units here in Roaches, and they get a bit of an opportunity on the high ground. Disruptors continue to go down, and GogojOey is just, is he poking through? Well, Shield Battery Overcharge keeps these Disruptors alive, and that Stalker Concave seems like it is going to be enough. Man, Cats, you ever seen Dr. Doolittle?
Dr. Doolittle, is that that terrible actor? What's his name? Actually, I'm not gonna say it again. I get crap every time I bring him up.
No, there's this other, well, yeah, maybe, but there's this old like 1970s original movie that has, I forget who's in it, but regardless, at one point they have this Dr. Doolittle. He's this, explorer, this veterinarian. He comes with this, it looks like a llama, but it's got two heads, one on the front side, one on the back side. It's called a push me pull you. And that is what this game is. It is just push me, pull you back and forth on both sides of the map. Both players running into each other, losing their armies, backing up. It's really not all that great as Disruptors will land once again. Is there going to be a third shot? No, not at the moment. In fact, the Disruptor gets targeted down, and the Stalker's blinking back, though. And these Phoenix, we talked about, okay, well, it seems weird against Roaches. They clean up half the army. And MacSed now, far from being behind, his army supply is in a great spot.
I mean, it almost feels like GogojOey took some sort of a weird oath, like one of those Hearthstone challenges where you're only allowed to make the try to win only with roaches or something like that. But I mean, that's never gonna work out, right? Like, I mean, if he had an opening with the roaches, it was the very first attack that we were talking about. Now MacSed feeling confident enough to go on the other side of the map, but that's how he lost his Disruptors last time around. And there's the creep launch pad here that GogojOey could utilize. The second Disruptor shot will clip one Ravager, but he will lose his life for it. What an odd game. I mean, I am not a fan. What can I say? This is just weird, man.
I'm telling you, push me, pull you. You push me, you lose everything. You pull back, I push you, I lose everything. Same deal. And now here's GogojOey on this side of the map. Oracle providing a lot of damage. Zealots on the left side, they kill a hatch. And the Phoenix on top, they're going to lift some of these Ravagers and kill them off. Files, they're going to get the Warp Prism. Not sure what that was doing there. And in the balance of things, as we slow down for just a second, this is a 5-hatch Zerg versus a 4-hatch or 4-base Protoss, 81 to 88 probes. GogojOey has the Hive, but he hasn't done anything with it.
Yeah, I mean, he's now getting the +3 milli, and that's the first thing that he gets off of the Hive. It's a very expensive upgrade. Now heading into the Ultralisk, which is the most roach-like unit, I guess, that you can get at tier 3. So that seems to be his overall plan. I mean, Links and Roaches. He tried to add the Ravagers. That's the highest tech tier unit that he's gone for. I don't think the Muta ever did anything, but it was 3 Muta, so, whatever. And this Phoenix they ended up paying off, but only because GogojOey chose to morph those Ravagers, right? Like the Ravagers, every time you lift one of those up, that's 200 resources. So it makes the Phoenixes good where they weren't. And yeah, I don't know, this game's a little bit messy. Maybe this Link Baneling Rambai can make something happen, but the Links are actually blocking the Banelings, and that gives the probes a way out to escape and a little bit more time. At least the static defense is gonna be weakened here, which will be nice for those +3 Adrenal Links. Assuming they have Adrenal, yeah?
Yeah, they do have Adrenal, so that does help. Meanwhile, MacSed had a big run by attempt on the other side, but it seems like finally the addition of Banelings is making these Zealots far less useful. And on the other side, we're going to have another base denied here, but MacSed very much not in position, and it seems like now GogojOey, it's been a bit of an awkward game, but we have a Colossus on the field. That's fun. It feels like now he's starting to do Zerg things, right? Attack on the left, attack on the right, shut down bases, shut down economy. But that being said, I mean, the pro pull was really nice this time. Oh no, okay, MacSed's on top of things. Archon shots are going to mean only 8 probes go down. Yeah, good blink there from the Stalkers. And, that's kind of acceptable. You obviously don't want to lose that, but against, what was that, 6, 8, +3 Banes with a late response? Probably the best thing you can do.
Reaction. For sure. And yeah, surprising to see this Colossus Thermal Lance was researched, and it's the first Colossus to make it onto the field like 3 minutes after the upgrade was done. So both players just kind of getting tech that they're not using and whatnot. Finally, the first Ultras are getting in the field, and huge failing connections kill 22 probes. On the other side, MacSed trying to take an engagement, but it's on to a very well-spread GogojOey on the bottom of that ramp. The Ultras not in the best position here, as now they get spotted. Immortals are going to be in production, so if GogojOey is going to honor his name, it should be now, I feel like.
Well, I mean, he's got the Zealot run by on the left side that's distracting him a little bit, but luckily, Ultras are really good run by defense. They happen to do very well against the masses of Zealots that MacSed has. So now, finally, again, this is GogojOey. It feels like it's been a weird game. It's been back and forth. GogojOey has certainly lost a lot more than he should have. But at this point, he is really starting to dominate the map, as this Ultra will get an Archon. Very nice. Shield battery keeps the rest of them alive. And on the left side, there's the big fight. Disruptors are just not going to land whatsoever. The Colossus has gone down. And the only tech in this army now, Cats, is these Archons, and they're going down.
Yeah, I mean, this was the time to go for Joey. So GogojOey indeed, as the Immortal is going to get targeted down, because later there's going to be more Immortals. And yeah, it's this spreading out that is biting MacSed. And maybe this was the plan all along for GogojOey, is make a lot of swarmy units and just, like you said earlier, right? Like go to the left, go to the right at the same time and try to deny bases, etc., just with sheer numbers. But what a messy game, I would say, on either side. I mean, I feel like MacSed had an opportunity to just kind of hold for a while on 4 base, transition to carriers, get like a little bit more tech, but never really overcomplicating things, never really like getting Storm, never transitioning into carriers, never really getting a ball big enough to where sometimes he would defend GogojOey, and the next thing he would do is throw his army on the other side, like you were saying, right? And then GogojOey would be like, oh, I defended, let me go on the other side. A little bit more reasonable, because you're working with you know, very low tier units. But yeah, I mean, what a strange game of StarCraft this was.
Yeah, and I like the idea you were talking about. Okay, it's Devil Stargate, you built some Phoenix. And in fairness, you know, they did find value, but imagine if those, what was it, 12 Phoenix? Imagine if they were 8 Voids. You know, the Roaches then, they're not doing what they need, and that maintains value. The Ultras come in. Are Voids the best thing against Ultras? No, Ultras are fast and they can run away, but they do provide, they provide anti-armor, right? They do provide some value, and I don't know that would have been enough necessarily. It felt like the Swarm was what really was breaking things apart, not even kind of that final engagement. But I gotta figure they would have been more useful than those 12 Phoenix that got a grand total of 0 dead drones.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. But I mean, killing a Ravager is arguably much better than killing a drone, right? So, but then again, he shouldn't have had those targets, because when he made the Phoenix, there wasn't any Ravagers on the field. It was almost like GogojOey was like, oh, you're going to make Phoenix? I'm going to make Ravagers. And it's like, whoa, that's like the worst possible decision that you could make against Phoenix, right? But I mean, it ends up working out. Just sheer numbers from GogojOey. The Ultra transition, I can't remember the last time I saw Ultras in this matchup. They are very difficult to make work, because Archons are not a strong counter, but they're kind of like, you know, viable against the Ultras if you have a base number of Archons. And then Immortals just completely shred Ultras if you can get to those. So GogojOey does well at the end there to at least capitalize on his timing and make the Ultras work before the Immortals are out.
Yeah, we saw like players like Scarlet messing around with Ling into Ultra ideas right around the time, like, I don't know, towards the tail end of the real dominance of that hero. Oracle and the Blink Stalker styles, like the only way that hero was playing. But you're right. I mean, you just get on 8 Archons, 8 Immortals, and good luck. In fact, I think it was a Home Story Cup qualifier that the Scarlet played against Estrella, and you know, she had all that tempo, and Estrella just turtled on 4 bases, maxed out. It's like, well, okay, well, Scarlet. It was the most perfect proof of how that style is such a timing, because again, dominating the map the entire game. Estrella got it to 170 supply of Archon Immortal. Scarlet immediately died. Well,
yeah, and exactly what you're describing is what I would have liked to see from MacSed here, right? Like, just turtle on your 4 bases, keep scaling your army, because you know that your opponent's army is garbage, right? Like, it's not scaling, it's pure roaches. Like, you have like 100 supply of roaches. I mean, you're the one who has to suicide into me, because once I get maxed, you have 100 supply in roaches. I mean, like, what's that gonna do?
Yeah, and the addition of I gotta question the addition of the Colossus as well. I mean, technically, you know, it's good against Lings or something, but adding Colossus like that, it's only one. I don't know. I would have rather seen Archons and Storm or something. But what I also want to see is a game 2, and luckily, Cats, we have it. It's right here. We're getting into it.
All right, it's a huge map as well. It's gonna be on altitude. I think that this should be nice for GogojOey in the sense that his style should lend itself to just kind of spread his opponent apart and play that very prolonged mid game like a Laser likes to do. Though I think he's a little bit more proficient. So let's see if he can make it work here. His opponent trailing 0-1 is MacSed.
And you talked about him in the upper right, up 1 for the Juggernauts. GogojOey.
GogojOey, honoring his name.
And it would be sad to see him run out this early. I mean, is he someone that we expect to win this region? Probably not. I mean, Oliveira exists. He's the reigning world champion for a reason. But GogojOey is one of these players in the former Taiwanese Hong Kong region that would always like third place, you know? He'd go Nice and Haas would win that finals, and sometimes GogojOey would be in there, but for the most part, he would fall down at that third place. But even still, you know, losing someone who is so routinely placing so highly, that'd be just a little sad.
No, for sure, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, he can be a very good player. I think that last game was a little bit strange for sure on the decision making department, but his early game, for example, was very, very clean. Like he got very good creep spread out. He got a good amount of workers. He didn't overreact to where he only made the 4 links initially. So his setup was good enough that maybe he felt empowered to, you know, like crank out a bunch of roaches and try to go for it. But yeah, once again, his natural is going to get blocked here. I don't know if he was trying to go for a 16 hatch. And this map, if you think you're going to get blocked, I feel like 15 hatch is pretty powerful. But even 16 hatch should be kind of easy to get down against most players. But MacSed goes for the block and get.
Yeah, it does make sense, right? With how far away the main and the third is on either side. There is a reason that we've been seeing a lot of Zerg players going for that gas block, that gas cancel 15 hatch. But, you know, at the end of the day, GogojOey does not go for it. And by the way, I appreciate MacSed on his patrol block here. We can't see it anymore, but he sketched out the shape of a G for GogojOey. And that is just clearly intentional. And he's giving honor to his opponent for winning map 1. Well done, MacSed.
Well done.
Well done, MacSed.
I was talking about Overlord 15 hatch, but yeah, the Eric 15 hatch is also pretty good. It works for sure.
Oh, yeah, fair enough. I've seen a lot of that gas cancel 15 hatch.
Yeah.
Scarlet's been doing. Scarlet and Uko really have been doing it quite a bit. But yeah, I guess.
Yeah, Scarlet has been trying it out. I talked to her about it yesterday. She wasn't feeling like it was super. Like she's not feeling like she understands it just yet. So she's kind of just trying it to see what it does, right? Because you have to play a bunch of games to really like get the feel of it. Since it's a completely different opening, it's gonna have different timings, etc.
Did she? Actually, I was talking about it a little bit with I think it's Eric's ZVZ, maybe, or Eggs' ZVZ the other day, because from what I've seen, for the most part, that 15 gas cancel is very much a South American Zerg thing. And I know you were watching, so did Scarlet say that was kind of where she was getting it from, or just that she decided to try it and wanted to see how it worked out?
Well, I was asking for advice on the CVP from Scarlet, and I told her that I like 15 hatch, and she said Overlord 15 hatch, and I said, yeah, Overlord 15 hatch, not Eric 15 hatch. And then I asked her, and she said, yeah, that's pretty good if you can get away with it, right? And then she said, or I asked her, like, have you tried the Eric 15 hatch? And she said, yeah, I've been trying it. Like, I just don't know how to feel about it or like what it does, because I have to play a bunch of games to like really decide, you know, like what I like about it and don't.
Oh, gotcha. As Lings, they force energy out on the Oracle here, which is really nice, because that means is the Oracle, if it wants to get aggressive on the map, which, to be honest, it's going to run across the map right now, but MacSed seems to be going for pretty much what he went for that last game, right? Forge down, Twilight down, charge +1 on the way. And you gotta figure here, cats. You try something game 1, it doesn't work. In fact, GogojOey didn't even really scout it, and it didn't work. And now MacSed's going for this exact same build. Game 2, you feel like you'd want a different wrinkle there, right?
Yeah, I mean, maybe this time his wrinkle can be not to commit to the third saturation and just go for the all-in, right? Which he didn't do in the previous game. So that could be a wrinkle in and of itself. We'll see if he chooses to go for it. He is getting the +1 in time where he would be able to make something happen with it potentially. But yeah, I otherwise agree, because GogojOey, like I said, played a very clean early game in the previous match, and he had everything that he needed to have just kind of with his default build to answer this from MacSed. So if MacSed doesn't commit further and just does the same thing, yeah, I don't see how it's gonna work.
And it's really awkward. Lings, they're gonna find these adepts as well. And MacSed has not cut. Well, he cut probes, but he's probing again. So it is literally the exact same thing. And I like how GogojOey is reacting as well. You know, he has a couple less. He cut drones at 50 or at 62, I think, last time. Now he's 58. He added that bailing nest in. He's taking this even more seriously than he did last time, and he held on pretty well. So I kind of like this, right? MacSed for now, he has the Warp Prism drop that's going to run across, a couple Archons in there to maybe start to force units. But I feel like GogojOey is already in a pretty solid position here.
Yeah, but there's less roaches out. One of them will get picked off, and with more lings and less roaches this time around, I feel like the Archons have a little bit more of an opening here, as they are now targeting the 4th. GogojOey is going to make his way on over, and this hatchery, I think, will go down. On the other side, a bunch of Zealots as well are going to run into Zerglings, which is a favorable matchup for the Zealots. Of course, there's enough Zerglings that they should be able to take him out, but not before. Oh, actually, maybe not. The Zealots are going to actually push on through. No roaches to reinforce whatsoever. The Spine is going to go down, and things are working great for MacSed in this game.
Yeah, we're looking at this as if GogojOey's got the read. He's cutting workers. He's got that bailing nest. And instead, +1 Zealots two-shotting Lings annihilate everything on the left side. Yeah, in the main base, these Zealots will eventually get dealt with. Roaches try to get on top of the Archons, but no, they both recall out. That's 12 dead drones, and these Zealots on the left side, you're right, they have not been dealt with. So, I guess, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, won't be fooled again, because MacSed, this one works much better.
Yeah, I love that quote. That's so good. From George W. Bush, right?
Yes.
Big time fan of his quotes. But yeah, I mean, I think the main difference there from the previous game was that GogojOey chose to make more Zerglings instead of roaches, right, against a Zealot-based attack. And the Zealots, like you said, the +1 makes a huge difference. Without that +1, the Lings win on the left-hand side, but with the +1, the Zealots comfortably even ended up cleaning that up, and it didn't seem like GogojOey was ready for it, also losing his 4th in the process. And even on the recall, not targeting the Immortal on the way out, or the Archon on the way out, instead turning his attention to the one Zealot first that was gonna die regardless. So not really finding any success is GogojOey in this early game.
Yeah, you know, I was looking at the start of that. I'm like, okay, well, you know, this seems great for GogojOey. He's got the Scout, he's cut drones a little bit quicker, he's got that bailing nest done. And bailings against Charizards, I mean, please, I'll take that any day of the week. But GogojOey, despite having the bailing nest, and you would think, you know, actually, he didn't. The bailing nest got killed or canceled at some point. And I guess that is the difference, right? Because I expected him to have 10 to 12 Banes on the hold here, and maybe a couple on the left side as well. And that would be a good way to make sure that you really take no damage. And MacSed, I don't think he had the Scout on the Spire this time, but he's building Phoenix anyways. Seems like there is a bit of a meta between these two players. I mean, oh, MacSed, you don't want to lose this Phoenix here. But they're both kind of doing the same thing 2 times. Again, GogojOey played a little bit differently, but it seems like MacSed is a pretty solid read about how GogojOey wants to play this.
Yeah, I'm not sure if they're reading each other or like you said, if they just know how each other play, because GogojOey is pretty much copy-pasting, right? As far as like the order of things. It's different amounts of units here and there, but MacSed also copy-pasting. I mean, the same exact opening, it just feels like it's what he seems to be comfortable with, like going into the mid-game, like that Archon drop can be the type of strategy that allows some control early game, right? And he feels like cutting probes probably just makes him safe, that the gateways probably just make him safe against some all-ins, etc. And he probably knows that his opponent likes the Muta transition. He also has scouted enough to know that the gas that GogojOey had been taking hasn't gone anywhere. And here's the Muta clearing the Warp Prism. This time around, it's going to be a Fleet Beacon, most likely for the Phoenix range to answer.
Yeah, and I I feel like, I mean, MacSed he just has that really good read. There are 4 Phoenix already, 2 more on the way, so it doesn't really feel like these mutas are going to be able to accomplish all that much, although GogojOey is committing. He's got 5 more mutas on the way, plus 1 as well, and I mean, when you get Annie and Pulse Crystals, no amount of mutas are going to win that fight, so I don't know how I feel about this commitment here, Cats.
Yeah, it's a difficult decision to make at this point. You've already committed so much to the tech. You already have a big base number of muta, so it's very difficult to transition out as well, right? Like if you give up on the muta right now, you've just lost the game all the same, because then you have like 2,200 resources that are not going to be doing anything for you in a game where you're already behind, where you lost your 4th, you lost a bunch of economy at your 3rd, right? And so it's difficult not to commit to the muta. I feel like if you're GogojOey, but I'm with you. I don't see it working.
Yeah, certainly not with those disruptor shots landing as well. For a second ago, GogojOey was maxed out. He was up 50 supply on his opponent, and it was not looking good. And now he's equal on supply with his opponent, and it is still not looking good. Annie and Pulse Crystals 2/3 of the way done here. 3 Colossus, a bunch of disruptors. And GogojOey, it seems like his opponent has just bamboozled him. Absolutely countered him at every turn at this point, and I don't really know what he's supposed to do now.
No, he's dead, right? Like he has been dead for a while, and now he's super dead. The muta are gonna try to get on top of 1 disruptor. Don't even get that, unfortunately. So yeah, expect GG. There it is. And game number 2, copy paste of game number 1, but with the opposite result.
And I think it is actually really interesting looking at how MacSed played, where he didn't get anything done. All right, in game 1, it did not work at all. Maybe he got a couple drones, but really not that much. And so he builds Extended Thermal Lance, but he gets 1 Colossus very late. Game 2, he kills the hatch. He gets 12 drones. You know, he has all this pressure. He's much more successful. And immediately he gets, I think, 4 disruptors, but it is into Colossus very quickly behind that. So it seems like the way he wants to play is moving into Colossus, is moving into what is almost a Phoenix Colossus composition off of that, which is that is pretty idiosyncratic. Like that is very interesting when we talk about PvZ.
Yeah, I mean, he does like the thermal lance and whatnot, maybe expecting some sort of Hydra transition or just heavy on the Ling, Baneling or something like that, but it's not like he really had like a lot of sentries or anything else to work with. I mean, the Colossus can be a nice backbone in the sense that you don't really have to control them very much, and they're kind of AoE for free, right? So they are kind of just easy AoE, whereas the disruptors you have to pay a little bit more attention to. So I don't mind getting a base number of disruptors and then going into Colossus if you don't want to mind the slowness and clunkiness of Templars and whatnot. But yeah, I think it's just a decent backbone there.
Yeah, fair enough.
It's just yeah. I mean, I got a feeling that we're gonna see the exact same game again. You want to hope for small adjustments on either side, right? And it's kind of time for GogojOey to adjust this time around. So what I would like to see, if we see the exact same openings, is for him to make roaches instead of links at that stage of the game. The banelings are okay, but for the first couple of waves, banelings aren't too effective because you don't have that many zealots running into you, right? Like you have little pockets of 5-6 zealots. Even if you connect onto those with banelings, it's kind of evenish trades at best. Whereas when the army scale, the banelings gain so much more value because you're hitting like multiple units every time that you engage, right? So early banelings, not that strong of an option as compared with the roaches, which can kite those zealots and just kind of be worth their weight in gold. They're good against the Archons as well, and if you get the roach speed, maybe you can go across the map and try to make something happen like he did in game 1, perhaps with a little bit more success.
Yeah, certainly. So what I'm hearing here, Cats, is you just want GogojOey to not respond, because game number 1, when he just did his normal thing and didn't respond all that much, he won. So let's see if he goes back to basics or whether he's got something else in store. Game 3.
Let's see. And in the top right-hand side, tying the series 1-1, it is for Infernal Gamers. Nope, it is for Invictus Gaming. MacSed. He wishes he was an Infernal Gamers.
And in the bottom left for the Juggernauts, perennial 3rd place in Taiwan and Hong Kong, looking to survive here in the new combined region, GogojOey.
Yeah, I'm not sure if he wasn't reacting or if, like you said earlier, he just has the read on what MacSed likes to do, right? And it's kind of a standard Zerg opening as well, right? Like the Roach Warren around like 3 minutes and 30 seconds, 40 seconds, where you're gonna be generally safe against most non-heavily committal like Stargate play, because if they open, like you said in the first game, like multiple oracles and whatnot, then you don't need the Roach Warren that early. But otherwise, against this type of charge lot attack and whatnot, the Roach Warren is just kind of like the best thing that you can make. So I don't know if he was reacting or if it's just his default, but it's a good default or a good reaction in any case against charge slots.
Yeah, and realistically, Cats, by the time that timing happens, at what, 6-7 minutes, even a late Roach Warren is going to be more than in time. So, yeah, my question though, as we get into this game number 3, is, there's actually, there's a significant amount of mind games here going on, because we've had the same build effectively from MacSed 2 games in a row. And if I'm GogojOey right now, I'm in my head, I'm like, there's no way he does this 3 times. He's got to have something else, right? So that's good. And he actually does have something else. Cybercore getting Warp Gate very quickly here, so it's not going to be Stargate. And that begs the question now. MacSed, same thing 2 times in a row. What's he doing this time?
Stargate.
Warp Gate into Stargate? Huh.
Yeah, it looks like the same thing again. I mean, it is a quicker warp gate, perhaps unnecessary to some degree, like you're pointing out. Or maybe he just wants the mind game, right? Like out of it, even following up with a stalker. So I think he's just investing into the mind game, into getting in GogojOey's head here. But there could be something else to it. I doubt it.
Yeah, that makes. This was Stargate into Warp Gate the first 2 games, right? As I think back on it, I don't remember. If so, that is a brilliant mind game, because one of the ways that Zergs will often go and check, okay, is this going to be Stargate or not, is based on the Warp Gate timing. If it's 2:30 or later, it's going to be Stargate. If it's before then, it's likely going to be Glaive of Depths or something Twilight based. So MacSed hiding this by getting that quicker Warp Gate. GogojOey might just get into his head a little bit more.
Yeah, but I wasn't paying attention in the previous game as well. But I know that he opens like Adept into Stalker, right? Because he never had this double Adept pressure. So both of the previous games, he also opened Adept into Stalker to try and just kind of deny information and kind of like do this fake. But I mean, at this point, it's not really a fake. It's just an efficient, because you're doing the same build every game, right? So it's going to be single Oracle into, I imagine, charge.
Yeah, pretty much. There we go. Twilight goes down, and now GogojOey, he's scattered out the Oracle here. So at this point, I did appreciate the mind games, right? The unfortunate thing is, though, is actually, you know what? This is a pretty quick Roach Warren going into it. So maybe that's the read, right? GogojOey forced into a bit quicker of a Roach Warren than he did in the previous games, because he thinks this is going to be an Adept opening. It's not. And I think,
yeah.
Yeah, that's the inefficiency he's looking for?
Yeah, I think he thinks it could be an Adept opening, because MacSed is saying it could be an Adept opening, right? Now he knows that it's not, but again, the Oracle stayed back for the longest time again. GogojOey, again, not overcommitting to the Zerglings, this time around making 6 instead of 4 like he did in the first game. But still making 6 Roaches and 6 Zerglings a little bit earlier than he needs to this time around. It looked like there was a gap, actually, so can't blame GogojOey for trying to sneak on through. The Adept will fall, but there is a replacement Zealot. Does not close the door, and GogojOey is gonna scout, and he's gonna see the exact same opening.
Okay, so here's something that's interesting, Cats, and I'm probably just going too 5-head on this, but we saw Forge get started right. Actually, yeah, okay, well, you know what? You talk about Roaches getting started a little bit quick. That's just because the timing is here. It's only a single Oracle in this, guys. The Queens can knock that one down pretty easily. And GogojOey, he's seen the same build time after time after time. So this time, he's not going to let it get off the ground. Lings are getting on top of the Cybercore very quickly here. Queens, that is actually that's all the Queens. That is 6 Queens here on the map, so Oracles don't do anything. You add in those shield batteries and Immortals and everything else, charge halfway done, all these gateways. I worry that by trying to cut this off at the knees, you're actually just kind of giving MacSed a platform.
You know, I completely agree. I mean, I am almost surprised that this is kind of working. I mean, he will get the deny on the third, But listen, you've gone up against this build multiple times, and it's 6 gateways very early on, right? So do you really want to attack into it if you're GogojOey? Obviously, he thinks so, but I'm not sure if I'm on his side on this. I think he's a better player, and he's taking a necessary risk here. And MacSed is going to hold his natural comfortably. His third will have to be cancelled. But I think you're okay with that if you're MacSed. You're ahead in probes. You can just get out, clean this out again, and be completely fine. And again, your opponent has opened the exact same way 3 times. So I don't know why you need 6 queens across the map to account for a single oracle that you've seen now 3 times, right? And you're attacking into 6 early gateways against an opponent that doesn't really commit to them unless, I imagine, you attack into him, in which case he should be pretty happy, right?
Yeah, and it's not like there was a layer or something behind so he could go drop creep and give effectively massively increase the effective HP of that army. It's just not going to happen. And honestly, MacSed, yeah, you're right, he's very okay with losing that third, because at the timing that he lost that third, it's kind of a fake third anyway. Its job is to be there and to mine a little bit, but really to be, to catch his opponent off guard. And honestly, cats, I am so surprised. Actually, as I say that, the Warp Prism's done, so we are going to see MacSed run across the map. And at this point, GogojOey, he's got the devil's bargain. Does he go and build a lot of army and, fail to catch up economically and maybe survive? Or does he try to catch up economically and lose to the timing? I mean, this decision to run the queens across the map, and by the way, he has 6 again, so at least he has that ability. Yeah, he's going to cancel the third, but cats, who cares? It's 3 Immortals, 2 Archons, a bunch of charge slots. This does not feel like it's an army that GogojOey can really stop.
It really doesn't feel like it. He's going to try with Ravagers. That's not it, Chief. But I understand the decision. It's the only thing that he can make. And it looks like it will be his grave here, as the Immortals, the Warp Prism is going to enable additional micro. It almost warps in front of the Corrosive Vials, but repositions just in time. And what a show. Jeez, GogojOey is out of the tournament. Jeez.